Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you can take your seats so we can start the program. I want to welcome you all to the first Purple Heart Appreciation Day. I would like to introduce some of our honored guests. We have George Tiro, a World War II veteran. I don't know if he's here yet, but Libero Lara. Joseph Terenzio. Greg Marciello. Carl Borgioli, and William Carafa. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate it on short notice. This was set up on Tuesday. We got the notice that it was going to happen, and unfortunately, I neglected and inviting some people, Chief Caffarelli, I'm sorry, but it was a short notice one, and next year when we have it on August 7th, we'll be better prepared and we'll have many citations for our recipients. And we're here to honor them for all that they have done for our country. We have World War II here, and we have Vietnam veterans. I just want to acknowledge our city councilors, City President John Powers, Councilor Arthur Guanasso, Councilor Bob Hass, Councilor Steve Morabito. We have some candidates here also. John Correggio, Frank Saro, and my counterpart here in Belmont, Bob Upton. Bob is very supportive of Revere. Everyone knows him in Revere, and he does a great job in Belmont. Thank you to you all for coming here. At this time, I would like to ask Anne Marie Garrity to please come up. A little history on this here is Anne Marie. I've had a Purple Heart in my office since I moved in 10 years ago. Nobody knew who it belonged to or how it got here, and we found out that some of the family is still here in Revere. So I would like to make this presentation this morning to Anne Marie Garrity, and it's the Purple Heart for Harry J. Garrity Jr. He's since passed on, and I just wanted to present it to Anne Marie. Her father was supposed to be here, who was Harry's brother, and so I wanted to present this to Anne Marie. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge Chief Caffarelli. Chief Caffarelli was in Beirut on the bombing of the hotel, and they have an organization also that they support, and Chief Caffarelli is always there whenever we need him or need his input. He really great job. Thank you, Chief. We also have Dennis Michella, who is the commander of the VFW in Matola Post. He's here. And Bill Chisholm, the commander of the American Legion Post 61 in Revere. At this time, I would like to introduce the state commander of the Purple Heart Order. His name is Leo Agnew, and he's going to have a few comments for us.
Thank you, Nick. I'd like to introduce some of our members that are here. We have the Junior Vice Commander, Tom Terrian. Stand up, Tom. Judge Advocate, Harry Perkins. Sergeant at Arms, Wayne Henry. Associate Member, Betty Benoit. And of course, our ladies who drive us and take pictures, Linda and Linda. Thank you. We'd like to welcome the City of Revere to Purple Heart Communities. Nick was supposed to talk briefly about the Purple Heart. I'll give you a little brief history of the Purple Heart, which originally was called a Badge of Merit. It was designed in 1782 by General George Washington. It was issued to his officers and non-commissioned officers and some enlisted men for act of bravery. In 1932, General Douglas MacArthur went to Congress with the design of a Purple Heart Medal to be awarded to those killed and wounded in action by enemy fire. It's the oldest military medal still being presented today for those killed or wounded in action. On behalf of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Massachusetts Combat Wounded, we'd like to present the certificate of acknowledgement to the City of Revere. Being designated, I have a hard time seeing with this poor light, being designated as a city in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to be known as a Purple Heart community, honoring all who have made the ultimate sacrifice and those who have shed their blood in all wars defending our country from Revere, Massachusetts, and honoring August 7th as Purple Heart Day. We'd like to present this to the City Council and the City Council President of Revere. I'd like to get members up here, guys.
One more. At this time, I would like to introduce our City Council President, John Powers, and he's going to read the proclamation.
Thank you very much, Nick and Commander Agnew. City Council of the City of Revere, first of all, and the citizens of Revere are very proud that Revere is a Purple Heart community. And just recently, back in June, we put a proclamation before the City Council recognizing Revere as a Purple Heart community. I'd like to read that to you, if I may, and bear with me because I don't have my glasses with me, and I'll do the best I can. It's a proclamation making Revere a Purple Heart city. whereas the people of the city of Revere have great admiration and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selfishly served in their community and their country and this community and the armed forces of for all good. Whereas contributions and sacrifices of the men and women of Revere who served in harm's way in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedom and the way of life that all of us enjoy as citizens today. Whereas citizens of our community have been killed in action while serving in the armed forces and have been posthumously awarded the Purple Heart for their ultimate sacrifice. And whereas citizens of our community have been awarded the Purple Heart for their bodily sacrifice of being wounded in action while engaged in combat. And whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest military decoration in its present use and was created as the badge of military merit on August 7th, 1782 in Newburgh, New York by Commander General George Washington, commander of the Continental Army. Initially, it was made of purple cloth and shaped with a heart and the word merit sewn upon it. Whereas the badges, the heritage it represents is sacred and to those who know the pride paid to wear the Purple Heart. And I'd like to just interject this, if I may, before I go on with the proclamation. Prior to the Commander-in-Chief, General Washington, setting up the Purple Heart to be awarded to anyone who was injured or killed in combat, this was only awarded to officers. If I correct, Commander Agnew? The Purple Heart was only awarded to officers, and I think General Washington felt that it should be awarded to any individual who served their country and was injured or killed in the line of duty. Now I'll go on with the proclamation. Whereas the Purple Heart is we did that, okay. Whereas the heritage it represents is sacred to those who know the pride paid to wear the Purple Heart. And whereas August 7th is nationally recognized as Purple Heart Appreciation Day. And now therefore be it proclaimed, we, the Revere City Council, on behalf of the city of Revere and its citizens, go on record to hereby proclaim Revere, Massachusetts a Purple Heart City, honoring the service and sacrifice of our nation's men in uniform and that were wounded or killed by enemy while serving to protect the freedoms enjoyed by all Americans today. Also, be it proclaimed that the city of Revere will recognize August 7th annually as Purple Heart Day and urge the people and organizations of Revere to display the American flag as well as other public expressions of recognition of our Purple Heart recipients. And this it was signed by Councilor Brian Arrigo, Councilor Arthur Granasso, who is to my right here, Councilor Steve Morabito, who is with us, Councilor Ira Novoselsky, Councilor Stephen Reardon, Councilor John Powers, Council President, Councilor Jessica Giannino, Councilor Robert J. Hass, who is here with us, Councilor Joanne McKenna, Councilor Charles Patch, who would be here, I know, because he is a veteran, and he's just had a leg injury, but I know definitely Councilor Patch would be here with us today if he could be. And also Councilor Anthony Zambuto, and it's signed also by Mayor Dan Rizzo, City Clerk Ashley Melnick, and City Council President John Powers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. And thank you to the City Council for helping us out. I do want to acknowledge Joe Ruggiero. Joe, his son is in the Coast Guard, who is on active duty at the present time, and he also is a recipient of the Purple Heart from the Gulf War. Mayor Dan Rizzo.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. Nick, thank you very much, and Commander Agnew, thank you very much for being here. This really is a tremendous honor for our city. As many of you may know, the city of Revere takes great lengths in recognizing and paying tribute to all of our veterans. In this particular case, we're honoring those who have made tremendous sacrifice by receiving the Purple Heart, and you know, I'm so humbled every time I meet the many Purple Heart recipients that we have still living here in the city of Revere. It's you know, you can't ask any more from an American to go and put your life on the line for our country, which so many have, and I know many of you here in this room have. And so I just want to say on behalf of all the residents here in the city of Revere, how proud we are of all of our veterans, those who have served, those that continue to serve, and certainly those who have been awarded the Purple Heart. It is for obviously laying their lives on the line, not only for our country, but for their comrades. And you know, again, we're very, very proud to be designated a Purple Heart City and recognizing it through these ceremonies here today. So congratulations to all of you veterans that are here, and in particular, those of you who have earned the Purple Heart. My congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to thank the VFW Beach March here for all the work that they do for us. June, she's, well, we can't say enough about her. She's great. June, thank you for setting this up. Greg, thank you. Greg is always 100% behind anything that we do for the veterans in the city. And like most of you here, you're always supportive, very, very supportive of us. And we're very, very fortunate as a city to have you as residents of Revere. Thank you. Let's eat.